on the Affordable Care Act, and next year my premium is going to be $34,000, and my out-of-pocket will be $15,000. This is Maine. My health care has the potential for being $49,000, and I retired early to take care of my terminally ill mother. My husband makes brings home $50,000 a year. Our health care could possibly be $49,000 out of a $67,000 income, which is 77% of our annual income. Well, my insurance next year. So that means I won't be getting it, because who can afford that? I will probably not get insurance next year, because I literally can't afford it. And this right here is cancer on my face. My last appointment's in December, and my doctor's guessing that I will need more treatment, but I won't get it. I might be one of the 51,000 people that dies next year of cancer. And, I know there's all kinds of reasons why he voted to open the government, but he needs to do everything in his power to get the ACA subsidies reinstated. And frankly, I feel we've lost our leverage. We've lost our leverage. And that means I might lose my life.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and ring that notification bell so you never miss the latest breakdowns, commentary, and straight to the point analysis of what's really happening in America. Now, let me hit you with a quick question. Remember when Make America Great Again was supposed to make life easier for everyday Americans? Affordable, simple, common sense policies that would put you first. Well, apparently someone forgot to send the memo to the healthcare system, because under this administration, prices are skyrocketing so fast, you think they were trying to win a race. Yeah, Americans across the country are crying out as their healthcare bills climb higher than rent, groceries, and the national debt combined. So much for MAGA, right? So let's talk about it.
Here's why I'm angry. The Democrats passed Obamacare, but yet the Republicans have never done anything to correct the problems that exist with it. And I blame my own party. That's absolutely wrong. And I don't think it's an easy thing to fix. However, it's something that we should have a plan for. And Mike Johnson, for a month now, cannot give me a single policy idea. And I'm angry about that.
Is this your understanding of Obamacare, that it raises?
Think Trump is the biggest problem? Wrong. Because right now, Speaker Mike Johnson, MAGA's handpicked puppet, is pushing millions of Americans toward losing their health insurance, and Donald Trump is cheering him on. This is the story they do not want you to know. All right, let's talk about what's really going on. What we're seeing inside the Republican Party isn't just chaos. It's a full-blown leadership collapse, and sitting right in the middle of it is MAGA Mike Johnson, a speaker who can't control his own caucus, can't deliver a single health care plan, and apparently can't even maintain basic respect from his own family. And I'm not exaggerating. His wife, yes, his wife Kelly Johnson, went on a podcast and straight up said Mike overestimates his abilities and underestimates how long anything takes. That's not a political critique. That's a marital performance review. When the person who knows you best publicly says you don't get things done, that says a lot. And remember during the government shutdown when Mike Johnson went on TV every other day bragging that Republicans had a health care plan ready immediately once the government reopened? Well, months later, guess how much health care plan we've seen? Zero. Nothing. Not a single page. Even Marjorie Taylor Greene, a MAGA loyalist, had to admit the truth. The plan doesn't exist. Then we get to the part that's embarrassing on a whole different level. His 5-year-old son refuses to let him drop him off at school in the security motorcade because he's embarrassed. Mike literally has to drop his kid a block away so nobody sees. When your own child is ashamed of you being Speaker of the House, that's wow. And then Kelly Johnson, again, the wife admits their whole family was not prepared at all for him becoming Speaker, and they were basically in shock when it happened. Look, if your own household doesn't feel confident in your leadership, how are the American people supposed to? But here's the part that should make every American furious. Donald Trump. While millions of families are waiting to see if ACA subsidies will be extended subsidies they need to afford health insurance, Trump gets asked whether he'll support extending them, and what does he say? I'd rather not extend them. Just like that. No empathy. No hesitation. Just a man who has never worried a day in his life about paying a medical bill, telling struggling Americans, good luck, you're on your own. And Mike Johnson? Instead of standing up for the people he claims to represent, he dodges, dances around questions, hides behind process, and refuses to commit to anything that would protect Americans from losing coverage. Meanwhile, inside the GOP, members are preparing to resign after the holidays because morale is so low. One Republican literally told reporters, "Morale has never been lower. It's a tinderbox. Trump is the one lighting the match. Mike Johnson is the one waving the flames. In our healthcare system, your healthcare is what's burning."
My health insurance is increasing from $417 a month to $1,002 a month if I want to keep the same doctors, have similar deductibles, and the same copays. Here's my old health insurance: $40 copays, $80 specialist visits, $417 a month. Here's what I'm looking at now for the same copays, deductibles, and my doctors covered: $1,002 a month. After turning 26 and having to get off my parents' healthcare plan, I finally had found new doctors and a new therapist. But in America, you don't get to choose your own doctors. Your healthcare plan does. And after my previous healthcare kicked off 1 million people, I'm now having to decide between paying an additional $585 a month to keep my same doctors or abandon the care team I just built and find a cheaper plan. I'm pissed. This is what happens when Republicans cut ACA subsidies to give tax breaks to billionaire CEOs that are the ones raising our rates. 22 million people are watching their costs increase in January. And the craziest part is, more Republicans than Democrats rely on these ACA subsidies. This shouldn't even be a partisan issue. Yet Republicans have no interest in extending these ACA subsidies and have presented no plan to make healthcare more affordable for millions of Americans. I know a lot of people are in the same boat, and I just want you to know, you are not alone.
Killed for. They would be cared for. Who pays for that? The American people.
Who pays for it if it's somebody who's uninsured but a U.S. citizen? The American people.
What Republicans do not want is the people that came across the border that are healthy, that are illegals, to be given, here's your card, go get your free health care.
They don't do that. That does not exist. That doesn't exist.
Okay.
You believe it does because the Republicans are saying that, but that is literally a lie.
Just doing a little bit of thinking out loud, and I know I make a lot of jokes about how stupid Republicans and, more importantly, MAGAs are, but they're not totally brain dead as a lot of my jokes or I say. And the reason I say that is because there's been a shift from the MAGA mess that Donald Trump has made, who's ultimately just the world's greatest grifter. And if it doesn't benefit him, he doesn't give a fuck. And unfortunately, some of the Republicans are Johnny come late to the party. But the thing that is really baffling is a lot of these guys, or, just a general term, guys, are panicking about losing their health care. And we're seeing a lot of them are, I'll vote blue or for a Democrat for the first time in my life. And one of the main reasons is they want to save their health care or ACH or Obamacare, whatever the hell you want to call it. But I'm a little bit baffled is why in the hell would you vote for a con man who's a pathological liar and a guy who's bankrupt literally all of his businesses and lies like he wastes good oxygen? And now that you know that his word was as meaningless as used toilet paper, why did it take that for you to just vote for the party that created the policy and, has a vested interest in saving it or helping the American people?
So, one of the biggest selling points during Trump's campaign was the promise of the best healthcare you've ever seen, he said. Affordable, beautiful, easy, almost like he was trying to sell a timeshare. But here we are, years later, and Americans are opening their medical bills like they're opening a horror movie. And trust me, the jump scare is real, right? Now, prescription drugs up, insurance premiums up, deductibles high enough to make you question whether breaking a bone is even worth it anymore. Now, at this point, people might start googling how to heal yourself with essential oils just to avoid walking into a hospital and walking out owing the equivalent of a small car. And the funniest part, well, funniest in a sarcastic, what else can you do but laugh kind of way, right? Is that the same administration insisting everything is going great is the one cutting funding, rolling back healthcare protections, and smiling through press conferences like none of this is happening. Because why acknowledge skyrocketing healthcare costs when you can blame someone else for it? Democrats, immigrants, the weather, Mercury being in retrograde. Hey, the possibilities are endless. Now, meanwhile, American families are doing calculations like, do I pay this hospital bill or do I eat this month? Do I get the medication the doctor prescribed or do I try my luck with Google and Fate? It's giving 19th century energy and not in a nostalgia, aesthetic, Pinterest kind of way. Now, let's talk about the actual human side of this. Because behind the numbers are real people, parents who can afford their kids' asthma medication, college students skipping doctor's visit because a checkup costs more than their textbooks, elderly Americans rationing prescriptions like it's the Great Depression. This is not the great again people signed up for. But of course, if you turn on certain news network, you hear the same lines. The economy is booming. Americans have never been better. Everyone has access to healthcare, right? And I'm a billionaire astronaut living in a mansion in Mars. You can't tell people things are fine when they are watching their medical bills grow like they are being fertilized by miracle grow. You can't tell people to just work harder when they are already juggling two jobs and still can afford allergy medication. But that's the magic of politics, isn't it? Smile, wave, deny, deflect, and hope people don't notice their wallets shrinking faster than ice cream melting in the Texas summer. But here is the real kicker. Healthcare prices aren't rising quietly, they are rising loudly. People are speaking up. Social media is full of receipts, screenshots, and horror stories, and you can only pretend things are amazing for so long before reality kicks down the door. Americans were promised lower health costs. They got the opposite. They were promised transparency. They got confusion and chaos. They were promised affordability. They got premiums that make luxury car payments look humble. And even now, the administration has no real plan in sight, unless hoping things magically fix themselves counts as a plan. Yeah, so much for MAGA, right? Now, as we wrap this up, let's get to the big questions. What does it mean for a country when one medical emergency can financially ruin the average citizen? Where is the line between political promises and political reality? And at what point do Americans collectively say enough? Because healthcare isn't a luxury, it isn't optional, it is something people can simply do without. It's not something people can simply do without. It's one of the foundational pillars of functioning society. And when that pillar starts cracking, everything else wobbles right along with it. All right, everyone, that's the commentary for today. Drop your thoughts below because I really want to hear what you think. Do you think healthcare will ever become affordable in America? Who do you hold responsible for these skyrocketing prices? And what solutions do you think might actually work? Let's talk about it in the comment section. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video if you want more honest breakdowns just like this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Remember, credit belongs to original creators. Thank you, my subscribers. I see you guys. I respect you. Thank you very much for helping us grow this page.